Vibe coding is that euphoric state where you're blasting music or sitting in dead silence, no in between. The code flows like poetry until it doesn't. You forget to it, maybe because you've been focused on one feature for 5 hours, or you're trying to debug a feature for 5 hours. See, here's the point here's the point that most people don't get. It's not just about writing code. It's about the energy you bring to it. And another truth is vibe coding is not a fairy tale or anything close to that. It's not as simple as it has been made to look. If you're going to create an application or a SaaS and you need users to start using your application, well, you need to know a lot of things. If you don't know where to put the code or how to debug, the vibe is obviously going to betray you, and most people don't actually make it to MVP. Most people give in and leave their apps dead. That's the reality. It's not so easy.
I like to say that vibe coding has two nemesis. Number one, obviously, is the bugs. Not every time AI is going to get your bugs, or every time AI is going to debug, right? There are some errors that are so minimal. You need to actually sit down and try to detect them yourself. Maybe they are typo errors. These AIs make a lot of mistakes, and you have to know that it's not 100% perfect. Basically, how to define vibe coding is AIs making the code for you, and you're just copying and pasting into your editor. Now, tools like Cursor and Windsurf reduce the copy pasting work because they just add it to your editor directly. But you're going to realize that there are very many errors that come up when you're coding with AI. And if you're not a proficient developer, sometimes it's going to be hard to find those errors. So you need to sit down and try and keep on prompting the AI until it gets the error. And it's going to take some of your time. So if you give up easily, then most probably you're going to have a crash out. Another thing that is a nemesis is the everything will work out delusion. This is a complete delusion. As I said, it's never easy as it looks like. Vibe coding is not that easy, especially if you're trying to come up with a SaaS or an application that's going to get users who are going to pay you, or you want to make some revenue out of your app. You have to think of a lot of things. Number one, you have to consider the security of your app. You have to think in a design thinking way. How am I going to market my app? What is this app going to look like? You have to think like the end user. And this is something that most beginners, or most people who are just getting to vibe coding without any basic knowledge of programming don't know. There are a lot of things that come with coming up with a system or developing a system. You have throughput, you have the latency, you have the rate limiting, the connections to the LLMs, and all these. Are you using AI in your app? Are you going to add or integrate an LLM or base? There are many things that come with developing systems. It's not just about coding or being in your coding cocoon. You have to really consider a lot of things, and you have to be prepared for certain things. You have to know that the path to coming up with your startup or your product is not that smooth. There are a lot of bumps in the way. It's going to be a little bit rough. You have to be willing to be resilient, and you have to be willing to learn new things and to just put up with the bugs, the errors, and all these. Vibe coding isn't just about trusting the process. It's the actual opposite. It's fight the process. If you don't actively learn debugging, you're going to rage quit before the app ships, and you're not going to make it to the MVP. And this is a fact. Most vibe coders don't actually make their apps to MVP. Most of them debug midway and just quit and stop doing what they're doing. How do you become good at vibe coding? How do you actually become a pro vibe coder? At number one, I told you, you have to be ready to embrace the chaos. You're going to encounter a lot of chaos. You're going to have some headaches, and you have to be willing to accept those. Another thing that I really recommend you do is to have a sketch or the idea in paper. Like, that's the first thing you should do before developing any kind of application. Draw something on paper, have the sketch, put your ideas on paper, and you'll be shocked how easy you translate these to soft copy using your machine or computer, or when you're designing on Figma, or when you're actually developing the application. It's usually very helpful to have your design sketch somewhere on paper. That's my advice. Another thing, you have to learn how to prompt the AI. And this is something that most vibe coders don't really know how to do. You want to give the AI everything. You want to prompt. You want the whole application developed in a single prompt, and that is not going to work at all. You need to have parts of your application. You need to divide your application. You need to divide your project into smaller tasks to have feature-rich, essential components. You need to learn how to divide your application, and you need to learn how to have your application divided into smaller sections. Let's say I'm developing an application. If I'm going to start with the authentication part, I am just going to give the AI the auth part. When you do this, your application will become more feature rich and will be actually more favorable and have a nice UI UX design compared to when you're giving one prompt and expecting the AI to do everything. You have to be willing to write prompts, and you have to go in depth. You have to expound on a certain component. If you want a component to be developed, you have to write and prompt the AI in the right way, giving it as much details as possible. You can ask AI to help you divide your project or narrow down your project into smaller sections.
So those are maybe some of the things that I learned while developing my application. The link is down below. GitHub, freelancers application to help freelancers manage and organize their task and projects and so on. But short version, vibe coding got me started. I even got the idea from AI. AI can really do a lot of things. It can help you in a lot of processes. It can even help you to break down your project into manageable tasks. It can give you ideas. It can do all these. Another thing, debugging and planning kept me going. You really have to come up with a good plan and to always be ready to debug and learn how to debug. I told you this is one of the most underrated things. Debugging is what actually differentiates a good developer, that 10x developer, from an average developer. If you get really good at figuring out bugs and having your feedback and remembering your bugs, you're going to be a 10x developer automatically. This is what differentiates the good developers from the average developers. Another thing, you need to celebrate your wins. I have said this, like, celebrating my wins kept me sane. I told you, you might compare yourself to many other developers. There are millions of developers who are doing extremely amazing projects, extremely beautiful UIs, extremely out of this world UI UX designs. But you need to know this about you, and this is about you staying on this journey. Everybody starts from somewhere.
Remember, the journey of a million miles begins with a single step. So you have to start from somewhere. So that being said, thank you for watching this video. Make sure you hit the like button if you enjoyed, and subscribe for more content. Until next time.